Hello, this is Priestess Esi, and I will be discussing karma today. What is karma? According to the Buddhists, karma means action or doing. It refers to action driven by intention which leads to future consequences. According to the Hindus, karma means deed or act and describes the universal principle of cause and effect, action and reaction. Karma is not fate, we create our own destinies. Both definitions are very similar and also relate to my personal definition of karma. This is what karma looks like to me. The antagonizer gets away with antagonizing acts if the protagonist does nothing. Some people wait on an invisible being to act on their behalf, but no spirit is obligated to help you, so you have to act on your own behalf. The Supreme Being gave everyone survival instincts and intelligence for a reason. You have everything you need. I discuss a little bit about this in my book called Increasing Our Vibrations, which can be found in the description below. For example, a bully starts picking on you and you do nothing. What will be the result? The bully will continue to pick on you until you create a negative consequence for the bully. How often does a bully offend someone, then they magically stop this action based on their own moral standards and their feeling of guilt? Never. They will continue to push your buttons until you or someone else stops them. The bully sees no reason to stop harassing you if you do nothing. Another negative is that because you allow this imbecile to continue their wicked ways, they will find another victim. Even Jesus of the Bible stated to his disciples, "Aren't ye gods?" You don't have to wait on the invisible entity. You don't have to wait on any invisible entity to help you with something so futile. Now change the scenario. Imagine that the protagonist defended himself or herself. The bully is likely to stop and may think twice before offending someone else. There are some men who abuse certain women, and when they get with other women, they treat those women like gold. You will get treated the way you allow yourself to get treated. As the saying goes, and I'm paraphrasing, evil people get away with doing evil because good men do nothing. In addition to what I just stated, if you are a woman and you have a male significant other, if he's not man enough to defend you when you need it, leave him alone. I've heard of a story where a man's house was broken into while he was home, and he escaped leaving his wife and children to be killed by this person. I bet you that the intruder observed this family for a while and identified the man of the house as being a passive beta male. That is why he had targeted that home. Believe me, men know how to identify each other. They know who they can mess with, and they know who to leave alone. And women, you want to learn the simple concept of prey versus predator. Look at the wild. Do lions get punished by some invisible deity for killing and eating a wildebeest? No. We are supposed to have high morals, but do we all possess this ability? No, we don't. Therefore, we have to be able to adapt to our environment. Not everyone is as good as you are, so you have to be willing to protect yourself. If invisible entities don't protect countless children from getting abused and even killed by their own mothers or fathers, you can be sure that there is no obligation to protect you. Some people have more spiritual protection than others for varying reasons, but that won't be discussed in this video today, so that's just a side note, okay? Some people do have more spiritual protection, but we'll get into that another time, okay? But until then, you could still defend yourself, okay? No matter how much spiritual protection you have. All right. Anyway, I've observed bullies lead good lives and the bullied lead depressing lives. Okay, so some people who are bad are having good lives and some people who are good are having bad lives. I believe people who don't feel guilt experience less negative karma than those who do. For instance, we can create disease in our own bodies due to guilt. We can even create negative scenarios based on our guilt. We sometimes get what we deserve or what we think we deserve. There are people who commit heinous acts against others and never subconsciously inflict pain upon themselves. They don't have guilt. They basically have no conscience. Example, okay? A colleague told me that a woman who shoplifted later experienced nerve pain in the same hand that she used to shoplift. The doctors couldn't find anything medically wrong with her hand. When she did meditations and different metaphysical therapies to forgive herself, the pain left her hand. Now, can you imagine a bunch of sociopaths and narcissists going around bullying everyone, and they receive no negative results of guilt, and on top of that, the good people allow themselves to get bullied? There's no doubt that they will continue. Basically, there's no negative consequence. They don't feel guilt, so they're not going to create any negative consequences based on what they think they deserve. And on top of that, if good people do nothing, there's no negative stimuli. And you have to admit that we were raised to kind of have negative stimuli if we do something wrong. So like if you I don't know, talk back to your parent or to your teacher. You have to go sit in the corner or go to the principal's office. That's negative stimuli in order to try to deter you from doing what's wrong. Okay? I believe I am my brother's and sister's keeper. If an antagonist crosses my path, it's my duty and my right to defend myself. In doing this, I'm also protecting others. Okay? I love using the Bible, with examples because it has metaphysical wisdom. Whenever a nation of people participated in major sins, Jehovah gave them time to repent. And if they didn't turn from their evil ways, they didn't repent, widespread disaster occurred. Were the good people spared? Nope, disaster struck both the good and the bad. I mean, there's some stories when the good people were protected, but in other ones, nah, everybody got slapped, figuratively. So definitely there were casualties. Don't wait for spirit to get involved because when this happens, it might be too late. Right? So it's good to take action. And the good people probably get punished too because they didn't do anything. Think about it. If there is someone next door who you know was getting abused, or a child was getting abused, or something was happening, and you didn't do anything about it, do you think that's good? No. Now, there's a time to wait for spirit and a time not to wait. Okay, this is a side note. Learn to determine the best course of action based on your intuition and prior experiences. So you're not going to always react at the time. You're supposed to also consult with spirit, but that's when we get to something else. This is mainly about karma and how it works with people mistreating others and then those people accepting it. It's not right to accept mistreatment. Okay? This brings me to my fellow ladyfolk. Okay? Women are perceived as being prey, not only because of being smaller, but because women are viewed as being more forgiving and less likely to aggressively seek out revenge or justice. And usually, whether it's, a group of other people or even animals, they have more fear of the man than the woman. And it's obvious. Okay? Men are not only bigger, but the testosterone and ego actually forces them not to accept or tolerate certain behaviors that women will tolerate. Okay, there's certain things women will tolerate and allow that I've seen men, they wouldn't tolerate it. Okay? And ladies, you don't have to haul off and punch someone in the mouth, but you can still exact justice in your own way. There are some women who are vengeful enough not to tolerate mistreatment. Those women are unknowingly protecting other women by their actions of self-protection. So when you're protecting yourself and you react, let's pretend somebody offended you somehow. Okay? And let's pretend somebody got mugged. All right, a man mugged a woman, right? Let's pretend the woman knew like martial arts and she broke his arm. I think he's gonna think twice before doing that to another woman. So that woman who broke his arm, she actually protected other women. Okay? We're all connected. But the ones who passively accept these sort of acts, you're not protecting other women. You might think you're doing good. I know that there's some people who believe that not reacting is good, but no, it's not good. Okay. Their lack of initiative makes offenders feel confident enough to offend other people. So you don't want offenders or people who do wicked things or evil things. You don't want them to feel confident and brave. That's not a good thing. That's the reason why the world is crazy like that, because for one, the law is not like making sure certain people stay in prison or, give them proper punishments. And now the citizens as well, it's crazy. I'm telling you, when people have negative consequences, they're going to stop doing what they're doing, man. So we have to take responsibility for each other. So let me recap. When the antagonist offends a defenseless protagonist, the protagonist receives a negative karma. When the antagonist offends the defensive protagonist, the antagonist receives a negative karma. So it's like a tongue twister. Basically what I'm saying is, when someone does wrong to somebody else and the person allows it, the person who allows it is going to receive that negative karma. Now, when someone does something wrong to a person who doesn't allow it, the person who, the antagonist who did that wrong thing, they're going to receive it. It's like bouncing it right back to them. That's what you want. All right? I shared the same wisdom with one of my good friends, and after she applied these concepts, she began to rise in her position at her workplace, and she gained increased social status along with winning more victories in other areas of her life. Okay, I'm very proud of her. She fought really hard, and because of her fighting, She got on top, and I'm with her. I'm like, you go, girl. All right. So karma doesn't reward victimhood. Okay, there's many people, especially I noticed too. Again, it's mostly women who talk about turning the other cheek. I usually see men basically say, in general, they say if this happened, they're gonna do this. I've seen a few men, uphold this victimhood stuff, but it's really rare. But anyways, you'll only be hurting yourself in the end if you uphold that victimhood stuff. Karma does not reward victimhood. Okay, and if karma does uphold victimhood, you could post in the comments below to maybe describe a situation that happened to you or someone else where they allow themselves just to become the victim and just stay the victim and something just magically happened. Okay, because there are some instances with that because spirit is around. But on a general note, you want to be able to have your survival instincts intact. Okay, if you need karmic counseling and you want to stop being the victim, please go to the Contact Us page on priestessesi.com. Thanks for listening and enjoy the links below.